into a little bit of the instruction office stuff from board finance, and then we've got one more presentation for you. But I just kind of want to go in there. We do have, we're making a request to approve the Albert I.O., and that is, Julia talked about the amount. These are supplemental materials, by the way. These are not tier 1 things. So we've got Albert I.O. on there, and that really is a tool that's most appropriate at the high school. And I want to talk a little bit about that, and also IXL, because these are changes to the system. So if you think back to IXL was incorporated back when we had COVID ESSER funding. We introduced that sort of into the ecosystem, if you will. It's a big part of our tier 2 environment for our elementary and middle schools. As we looked at the data, the usage data, we noticed that it wasn't used as much at the high school levels. And having conversations with folks, it's not that it wasn't appropriate, it just wasn't meeting a need. I believe as Kim was working with high school ELA teachers, someone from the group surfaced Albert, and it kind of took off from there. And high school teachers really enjoy this tool. I think, if I remember accurately, we got unsolicited feedback on the tool. Teacher at Northern, who's a wonderful math teacher, but not somebody who would necessarily reach out unsolicited and say, "This is amazing, thank you." Sent something based on this tool. So I am excited about this, but we are changing that K-12 reach to a K-8 reach. 2 reasons. One would be just the appropriateness of the tool and how it's being used. And the second reason is financial. You can't continue to support everything. And so we did limit that to for the IXL to K-8, and then Albert I.O. to a 912. So that'll be a change that I want you to be aware of. And then the other review is for the quick reads, and that is from Savas. So those are the 3 things that are coming from us. A couple other things that I wanted to mention. We did yesterday just have our first screening for junior kindergarten, eastern side of the district. So that took place at Nat Forest. Both principals were there, Christina Mendoza, Lisa Rodell, and then just a whole host of coaches and kindergarten teachers, and stopped over there to talk to them, and people were so excited about it. Teachers were excited to be able to meet their students, put eyes on kids. Parents had an opportunity to come in and meet the principals at this point in time and hear a little bit about the program. And then our families are gonna walk away with some data. Not yet, but we'll get that data to them in terms of here's what we're seeing. And then as we talked about, parents will be in the driver's seat of what makes most sense for your child. So really we're trying to provide a little bit of data, partnering with our families to say what makes the most sense for your child. We even had teachers as a result of the screening, because we're kind of wondering, who are we going to get to volunteer? Because we wanted to have some night opportunities in case parents couldn't make it during the day. A couple of the teachers said, "You know what, this has been so much fun, I just volunteered they signed up to do the night opportunity." So we called it our first pancake, and it seemed to go pretty well. And so we'll be doing Northern and Central coming up. So successful so far. We're excited about that.
How many did you screen? Do you know how many you screened?
I didn't grab the number, but
67.
was it 67?
67. That's a lot. I didn't think that would be that high.
The other groups coming up are even have more kids.
Okay.
But that's because we have 3 schools.
Yeah.
2 schools.
Yep.
And then we will have summer screening available. So if you move into the district or you miss these, we'll have some summer screening opportunities as well. Another, just a point to bring up, we did a district communication on PBIS, how it's going, successes that we've had, and like anything, also things that needed to be sort of revamped or looked at again. Some of the things, we feel really good at that tier 1 environment, but we're going to need to look at. That's our tier 2. So we're gonna be diving into that. We use this strategy right now, just check in, check out, but we're gonna be expanding that to better support students, like when things don't go the way we'd like them to go. So that communication went out to staff yesterday. And then just as a FYI, we did solidify some dates for next year. One of the things that we're real conscious of is AI and its expanded use. We want to grow our own capacity with staff, so we're going to be offering some expanded AI learning for teachers, both at a beginning and an advanced level, in an effort to sort of grow our understanding and how we're using tools for staff. So that's something that we have dates for it. We're going to continue to build this out, and we're going to be partnering. We haven't decided yet between Michigan Virtual and the ISD, but we'll kind of figure that out. So I'm excited about that. Any questions?
I have a question about PBIS. Because we're rewarding for good behavior, right? Is that, or is it, not, I shouldn't say rewarding, are we encouraging good behavior?
I think a way of thinking
Is
about
it-
it is yes, there is a ticket system for that, but I think that the premise of it is that we're going to teach kids, like, in this particular space, like, let's just use the lunchroom or the bus, lunchroom. Like, here's what it looks like to be successful in the lunchroom, instead of assuming that everybody knows what to do, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I guess what I was curious about is like, is there a reward system if somebody's been off track, let's say, and then comes back around?
Yeah, you're always
You know.
trying to recognize those behaviors that you're focused on, so yes.
Okay, because then if somebody's, like, you have some kids who don't really necessarily, right, they're just good beans, right, at school, so is there a reward system for them as well that, okay.
Yeah, they all participate
Yeah.
equally.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's not like a kid can manipulate the system, like, you know what I mean, like you could behave badly and then you know that you can behave good and then you get something and then you could behave badly for a while and then turn around, you know what I mean, like.
I think it's just,
Do you wanna look
yeah,
up?
I do. I think it's really trying to establish a culture of, this is kind of how we roll here, if you will,
Yeah.
and just making sure that it's understood. I think oftentimes we just assume that kids know how to navigate an environment. And when you think about it, it's kind of a crazy assumption, right? Because we all come from different homes. And in my house, I can do this, and then I come to school and I can't do that anymore. It's like, well, that's weird. And so we're just being really explicit with the directions.
It's kind of just showing where the boundaries are.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
all right.
Yep, it's a great way of putting it.
Yeah, okay.
So, okay, good. Any other questions? Good question. All right. Next one, textbook recommendation, Kim. I'll turn it over to you and I'll put